Big news coming out of Denver. The Broncos are starting to look like serious contenders in the AFC West. And yes, we're hearing more voices across national media hinting at what seemed unthinkable not long ago. The Kansas City Chiefs may finally be vulnerable. One well-connected NFL analyst just dropped a bold take predicting that whoever Denver picks up at running back in the draft is going to thrive right away. Why? Because they're stepping into an offense anchored by what could be the best run-blocking offensive line in the league. That's a massive upgrade over last season, and it could be a game changer. We also pulled some advanced stats from Pro Football Focus on a few draft-eligible backs. And yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. We'll break all that down in this video. Now let's talk season outlook. Vegas set the Broncos' win total at 9.5. Personally, that feels low. A 10-win floor seems realistic, and depending on how the schedule shakes out, this could be a 12-win team when it's all said and done. The Chiefs? Well, their offseason hasn't inspired much confidence. They entered free agency with major issues on the offensive line, then let their starting left tackle walk. He's now with Chicago. Travis Kelce isn't getting any younger, and their additions in free agency didn't exactly move the needle. One of their most notable signings? A backup who wasn't even starting in San Francisco. Some analysts are even questioning if the Chiefs will make the playoffs this year. They've got the toughest strength of schedule in the AFC, and we all know how draining a Super Bowl loss can be, physically and mentally. Just look at what happened to San Francisco after their recent loss. The wear and tear is real. For Denver, this is the perfect storm. The Broncos' run game last year was rough, no way around it, but that's a key pillar in Sean Payton's offense, and it's something they're clearly determined to fix. Analytics expert Warren Sharp recently highlighted just how much the run game underperformed in 2024, especially when it came to explosiveness and efficiency. Javonte Williams showed real promise in his rookie season, but he hasn't been the same since that knee injury. We're rooting for his comeback, but regardless, Denver's backfield is getting a serious upgrade. Let's break down the numbers here because the Denver Broncos' offensive line was incredible last year. First off, the Broncos boasted the #1 pass rush win rate and the top run blocking win rate in the entire NFL, according to ESPN. That's not just a stat, that's dominance. And this all came without Javonte Williams in the lineup for much of the season. Let's talk specifics. When it came to short yardage situations, Denver was ranked #1 in converting on 3rd and 1. How many times did we see plays like when Russell Wilson would sneak it behind Quinn Miners? Those moments were. We also ranked #3 in gaining 3 or more yards before contact, meaning our offensive line was consistently creating holes for running backs. That's a big deal. And get this, we were #5 for total yardage gained before first contact and for having one of the lowest stuffed at the line rates in the league last season. These stats don't lie. Our offensive line was elite. Now, let's look at Javonte Williams' performance. Back in his rookie year, he was a breakout star, earning national attention for his crazy ability to break tackles. He was averaging 1 broken tackle every 6 rushes. Fast forward to last year, and that number dropped to 1 broken tackle every 20 rushes. His yards per carry? He finished at the very bottom of the league for running backs, and he also ranked near the bottom for longest rushes, fumbles, and his stuff rate when he was tackled behind the line. It was tough to watch. You saw it week after week, running backs like Zach B just piling up on him. And even though I'm a huge fan of Javonte Williams, he's a guy I really wanted to succeed. It's clear that last season just wasn't his year. But here's the good news. Whoever steps in as our next running back will be playing behind the best offensive line in football, and with a center who's now got more chemistry and comfort with this line than ever before. This is a huge positive. And let's not forget, Javonte's struggles last year were marked by a lack of explosive plays. There were over 400 rushing attempts where no run went for more than 22 yards. You remember the early days of Javonte's career when he was picking up tough yardage, often gaining 20-plus yards despite being hit in the backfield. That magic just wasn't there in 2024. But here's the silver lining. I'm optimistic about him making a recovery in his second year back from that serious knee injury. If he can return to form, the Broncos could see some major improvement at running back. Ultimately, whoever Denver drafts or brings in next year is going to thrive. With Sean Payton's system, a more explosive offense, and weapons like Evan Engram opening up the middle of the field, the Broncos are set for a breakout season. The defense won't know whether to focus on the run or keep eyes on tight ends like Ingram, and with the continued growth of sophomore players like Troy Franklin and Vele, the offense will be significantly better. If you thought last year's running back performance was rough, just wait. The Broncos are about to flip the script. And hey, speaking of the draft, a cool new tool just dropped called the Draft Day Predictor. It uses ESPN analytics to project which players the Broncos might pick up. I'll throw the link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. Let's dive into some of the latest draft buzz, especially with a tool that's making waves, the Draft Day Predictor. This tool runs all the major NFL mock drafts and gives a percentage chance of each pick happening based on what real NFL reporters are saying, so you get a pretty solid picture of what's likely to happen. For example, with the first overall pick, the consensus is almost 100% that Cam Ward is going to be the pick. You can scroll through and see the top predicted selections, like how the Giants are projected to grab Travis Hunter. But what's even more useful is the percent chance that certain players will still be available at each pick. Here's an interesting nugget. They're predicting there's a 100% chance Ashton Gentry will be there by the 5th pick. But by pick 6, his chances of being available drop to 80%. So if the Broncos are interested in Gentry, this model suggests they might need to trade up, especially to a spot around pick 8, where the Panthers are currently sitting. Now, the model gives the Broncos a 12% chance of getting Omer and Hampton, which isn't huge, but still a solid possibility. That got me thinking, what is it about Hampton that excites me so much and makes me think he's a great fit for Denver? Let's take a deeper look at his running style. According to Pro Football Focus's draft guide, Hampton thrives in A-gap runs, those plays that go right between the center and guard. This is exactly the kind of running scheme Sean Payton loves, and it lines up perfectly with how the Broncos want to build their offense. If you remember the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, that was the best running performance we saw last year, and it was all about A-gap runs. Audric Estime ran all over the Chiefs, and we just kept pounding the A-gap. I think this is the direction the Broncos want to go. Now, I know we have some players who excel on the outside. Guys like Marvin Mims or Jal, who can take it wide and use their speed, are already solid assets in that area. But with Hampton, you're getting someone who's a powerful inside runner, and that's exactly what Payton needs to complement our existing backs. When we compare him to other top running backs, take Trey Henderson, for example. While Henderson is explosive, a lot of his success came from outside runs, pitch plays, or runs to the C-gap. That's not what we need in Denver. We've got the outside covered already with guys like Mims and McGloin, so bringing in someone who can excel on the inside is a perfect fit. Another running back I looked into was Caleb Johnson, and his versatility really impressed me. I thought, based on his size and speed, he'd be more of an outside runner, but his production is balanced. He's a true, well-rounded back who can run anywhere on the field. If Sean Payton thinks he can trade back and land either Hampton or Johnson in the first round, that would be an amazing move. So Broncos country, let me know, which of these running backs gets you the most excited? Are you all in on Omer and Hampton at pick 20, or do you think another player would be a better fit? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.